na Aissatou Smile Cissé. Today we can you building as the Ministry of Information and Communication can get a government press briefing where they can get every Thursday. So now we are going inside the hall outside the press briefing get for take place.
As usual, normally we have our update, and this time the chairperson for this press briefing is the Honorable Deputy Minister of Information and Communication, Madam Mamadi Gobe, who will take us through the updates, a few of the updates, highlights of that, and after that she will take the program further. So you're welcome.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So like Mr. Toure mentioned, I'll start with the updates for this week and then we go to the business of the day proper. So on Wednesday, 26th June 2019, Vice President of Sierra Leone, Dr. Mohamed Julde Jallow, officially launched the one-year anniversary magazine of the New Direction government following a short presentation on key instances of achievements since 4th of April 2018. The magazine captured and summarized the medium-term development plan that was launched by the New Direction government that is geared towards transforming the human capital development of Sierra Leone. This at the center of this government's agenda, he said. This is at the center of government's agenda, he said. Vice President Julde Jallow further stated that the media team at State House also endeavored to tell the story of an education that has been given a new lease of life with the introduction of the free quality education program for pre to primary, junior and senior secondary school children across the country. On Tuesday, the 25th of June 2019, the country director for the SOS Children's Village in Sierra Leone, Sophie Dong, has paid a courtesy call on His Excellency President Dr. Julius Maada Bio at State Lodge Hill Station in Freetown. As we all know, SOS Children's Village is an international children's charity that offers safe and nurturing family homes to over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children in 134 countries around the world. It also keeps families together through skills training and community development to ensure self-sufficiency and prevent child abandonment. In his response, President Bio said he was pleased with the work of the SOS Children's Village in the country. He said his government has decided to prioritize human capital development because he was concerned about the future of the country, which rested on the children. He noted that it was important to use education as a piece of equipment for children to be able to face the competition in a highly interconnected world. June 20th, during a symbolic distribution of agricultural assorted items to farmers at Ogu Farm Community, Sam King Brimer, Deputy Minister of Agriculture and Forestry, has ensured agricultural technical experts, including China Aid Agricultural Corporation, Technical Cooperation Project, and Chinese Economic and Commercial Council, that the long-standing relationship between Sierra Leone and China will continue in the right direction. As a ministry, he said they have taken agriculture as an engine that will change the status of farmers as the agricultural items given to them will be utilized substantially. He requested the China Aid Agricultural Technical Cooperation Project to extend the information sharing with not only farmers but staff of the ministry so that scientific techniques could help their researchers in increasing agricultural yield across the country. On the 21st of June 2019, the World Food Programme, WFP, led an interministerial delegation from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education, Ministry of Health and Sanitation, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Agriculture and Forestry to visit WFP-supported school feeding program sites in Pujeung and Cambia districts. With over 50 years of school feeding expertise in over 80 countries across the globe, in Sierra Leone, WFP supports 139 schools in the 2 districts in partnership with local NGOs, Pure Heart Foundation, and Community Action for the Welfare of Children. This joint visits to the schools is part of knowledge sharing, awareness raising, and advocacy measures for the launch of the government-funded National School Feeding Program, a crucial pillar of the government of Sierra Leone's flagship Free Quality Education Initiative. The Ministry of Water Resources has outlined 7 major projects that will aid the shortage of water supply in the city. This was made known during a roundtable meeting held with donor partners at the Brookfield Hotel in Freetown. The current project includes construction of the River Roquel water supply for Freetown and its environs, develop Freetown water supply and sanitation master plan, and investment studies to attract private capital in the sector, optimization of pipe-borne water supply facilities in district capitals, legal and policy reforms in the water sector, review of the Water Supply and Control Act 1963 and the National Water and Sanitation Policy 2010 to support efficient service delivery in the sector and institutionalize the country-led monitoring and evaluation. The Minister of Health and Sanitation, Professor Alpha Tijan Wuri, and senior official from the Ministry and the UNFPA representative, Dr. Kim Eva Dixon, and team over the weekend donated a joint inspection tour of the newly constructed Rokupa Government Hospital in the east end of Freetown to assess the level of work done so far. The Health Minister was accompanied by the Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Clinical, Dr. Donald Bashtaki, while the UNFPA representative was accompanied by the Deputy Executive Director, UNFPA, Mr. Deriji Wodofa, and the Regional Director, UNFPA, Mr. Mabingwi Ngo. Speaking after the conducted tour of the hospital, the Health and Sanitation Minister, Professor Alpha Tijan Wuri, disclosed that the people of the United Kingdom, through their international agency DFID, has been supporting Sierra Leone and has done so extremely well over the years. Health and Sanitation Minister Alpha Wuri has opened a 3-day scheme of service review retreat on the theme Building a Resilient and Motivated Health Workforce over the weekend at the Dohas Hotel in Bo. The retreat, which attracted directors and program managers of the ministry and other senior officials, was organized by the Directorate of Human Resource for Health with support from Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, USA, Clinton Health Access Initiative, eHealth, and Affinet. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for you on updates in the week, from the 20th of June on to date. So, now we come to the business of the day. In our midst, we have a gentleman from the Petroleum Regulation Agency, Mr. Salu Kamara. We also have representatives from the oil marketers, Mr. Ibrahim Kool and Mr. Kobi Woka. We have the Deputy Minister of Transport and Aviation, Mr. Sadiq Silla, and of course a representative from the Ministry of Transport also, Mr. Kata. I'm sure we all have been hearing news making the rounds about pending fuel increase. So we have in our midst players in this all-important sector to make certain clarifications, to answer to questions that you may have. So ladies and gentlemen, without wasting much time, we'll just go straight to the business of the day. So I'd like to invite first to come up and make a statement, Mr. Kobi Woka from the National Petroleum, representing the oil marketers.
Good afternoon, members of the Fourth Estate. What I noticed we only have Fourth Estate here. I was hoping the Fifth Estate was here as well, because they are gaining momentum day in, day out, speaking about issues that some of them do not know anything about. I'm talking about the civil society now. My name is Kobi Walker. I'm the General Manager for NPSL Limited. As some of you may be aware, NPSL has been in this marketplace for over 4 decades. NPSL today enjoys the largest market share in petroleum oil marketing industry. NPSL's equity rests on just 35 Sierra Leoneans who were staff working for NP when NP was privatized in 1996. Unfortunately, I'm not one of them. I joined thereafter. And today, we're challenged in our marketplace. We're challenged principally for two key reasons. The first is the petroleum product pricing regime. Those in industry would realize, or watchers of the industry would realize, that the pump price for petroleum product in the sub-region, be it Nigeria, be it Ghana, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Abidjan, all of them are above 9,100 leones. But in Sierra Leone, we're selling petrol at 7,000, diesel at 7,500. Therefore, there is a huge gap. There are principally two reasons, two key reasons for that variation. The first is Platts. What is Platt? Platt is what is quoted for energy product in the world market. It is quoted daily, by minute, by second. That is what we use to purchase the product. And watchers in the industry are witnessing an ascendancy in Platt. Unfortunately, Sierra Leone is not an oil marketing country or oil producing country, so Sierra Leone has absolutely no control as far as Platt is concerned. So once Platt, the amount we buy, keeps going up, inevitably the price must go up. And secondly, we are challenged with foreign currencies. The key foreign earners are challenged, as we are aware. We buy product in dollars because petroleum products are sold in dollars. We bring them to Sierra Leone and later we sell in leones. We need to convert that leones again into dollars so we can be able to continue the process. Those two key factors are actually negatively impinging on the working capital of us, the OMCs. But in collaboration with government, efforts, serious engagement, serious efforts are being made to address the situation. PRA, that's the Petroleum Regulatory Agency, luckily they are here. They regulate the industry, and I'm pretty sure they will make a statement on the challenges us within the oil marketing industry we are facing today. So, ladies and gentlemen, without going further, the reason why price must go up is because the key factors to determine the price of petroleum products have gone up. We have absolutely, as a country, have absolutely no control. So I thank you very much for listening to my brief statement and do hope you understand the challenges we are going through. But before I sit down, I would encourage us at the Fourth Estate to encourage our colleagues who are speaking on petroleum issues to really go to PRA or the OMCs to let them engage them so they could understand the process, because it is really, really unfortunate and absolutely disingenuous for people to make statements that are not only vacuous but are completely misleading. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon. July 13th, July exactly, 2018, the government, in consultation with the oil marketing companies, liberalized the pump prices. So we increased the pump prices of petrol, diesel, and kerosene from 6,000 leones to 8,000 leones per liter. Now, why the increase? We liberalized because we removed fuel subsidies, because government was subsidizing the retail market. So when we liberalized, we increased the pump prices from 6,000 leones to 8,000 leones per liter. And the agreement we had with oil companies, the understanding we had was that if there was going to be an increase, we increase. If there was going to be a reduction, we reduce. So we monitored the trend from July 2018 up to January 2019. Now, the international market price, that's the Platts, there was a reduction in the Platts prices. So the combined effect of the Platts prices and the exchange rate led us to a situation in January, on 7th January 2019, for us to reduce the pump prices from 8,000 leones to 7,000 leones per liter for petrol, diesel from 8,000 leones to 7,500 leones, and kerosene from 8,000 leones to 7,600 leones per liter. What is the trigger mechanism for us to increase or decrease or reduce pump prices? For you to increase, according to the understanding we had with oil marketing companies, we have what we call the landed cost. For you to land the product here, landed cost should go up by up to a plus 5%. If it goes up to a plus 5%, there should be an increase in the pump price. If the landed cost reduces to up to a minus 5%, there should be a reduction in the pump price. So what happened on 7th January, we had a reduction in the landed cost of up to minus 5%. So that was why we reduced the pump price from 8,000 leones to 7,000 leones for petrol, and 8,000 leones to 7,500 leones for diesel. We monitored the trend again from January up to March. We realized that the landed cost increased up to a plus 5%. So what it means is we should have increased the pump prices to a reasonable level, according to the combined effect of the Platts prices and the foreign exchange. Now, if you don't increase the pump price, what happens? Two categories of people will lose. Now, initially, before July 2018, if you decide not to increase, what happened? Government will lose revenue. We call that subsidies. Today, if we don't increase the pump price, what happens? It means the oil companies will lose money. Oil companies are subsidizing. Indirectly, they are subsidizing. If you don't want the oil companies to lose money, what happens? Increase the pump price. If you don't want to increase the pump price and you don't want oil marketing companies to lose money, what happens? It means government will have to subsidize. Now, when we do our projection, today, if we say we are not going to increase the pump price, it means government will subsidize up to 235 billion from now to December. Subsidies are good, okay, but who benefits? Let's look at it this way. Because of the differentials in the pump prices between Guinea and Liberia, between Sierra Leone and Guinea, and between Sierra Leone and Liberia, we have smuggling taking place. It's difficult for us to stop that. We have put measures in place, but we have porous borders. I know business people are looking for money. Because fuel here, petrol is 7,000 leones. You take it to Guinea, sell it over 9,000 leones. So no matter what you do, they will take your fuel. Now, we don't have enough foreign exchange. It means we'll have to purchase foreign exchange for people in Guinea, to satisfy people in Guinea, and people in Liberia also. It means also we're subsidizing for people in Guinea and also people in Liberia. And it's not sustainable. 235 billion. It means if you subsidize, people in Guinea will benefit. People in Liberia will benefit. But if you use that amount of money on free quality education, it will create an impact. If you use that amount of money to build schools, to build hospitals, to increase salaries of certain workers, that will create an impact. But if we say we don't want to increase, it means we have to subsidize. And the situation now, the oil companies cannot continue to do business like this. They are losing money. According to our estimation, they have lost up to 127 billion. And when you ask them, in fact, that's more than that. But according to our own pricing formula estimates, it's 127 billion. That is too much. We cannot continue like that. So if we say we cannot continue like that, it means government has to subsidize. But look at the implications. We need more foreign exchange. It means we have to satisfy the people in using our own money here. Subsidizing, that is not sustainable. So what government is doing now, we are looking at the situation to look at what we can do so that we can come up with something. But these are the key issues. We have two options here. We subsidize or increase the pump price. But presently, pump prices are, for petrol, 7,000 leones per litre, diesel is 7,500 leones, kerosene is 7,600 leones. The status quo remains, and there's fuel. We have alerted our district monitoring officers to go around the country. A dealer that refuses to sell, that dealer will be reported to police. So for now, fuel remains the same. If there's going to be any increase or decrease, we'll inform the public accordingly. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Sila Sadiq, Deputy Minister of Transport and Aviation. Our ministry, as it is positioned in the governance circle, we are responsible for movement, be it of persons, be it of goods. And I am touched by the honest opinion expressed by the two speakers before me. We in the fourth estate, or we as Leoneans, are always challenged. Even when I was at the local level there, when I was a local council chairman, I always challenged my brothers and sisters in Sierra Leone, and that's why I'm challenging you people here today. If you study elementary economics, you will now know that this foreign exchange earning is the one that is crippling African economy, particularly we in the West African country. If you have traveled in the French-speaking countries, for instance, Senegal, Ivory Coast, you will see that the franc CFA is very thorough and is valuable, because in those countries, no matter what, they will not allow you to exchange their monies in the informal sector, what you call black market. People there on the street. If you take this black market business, some of us, quote unquote, will say if we stop the black market, we are taking our brothers and sisters off business. You are watching it from just a minute angle. Watch at the bigger picture. What is really wrong if we are doing a proper business in this country to transact or remit your money through the formal banking system? Because if your monies are paid, goods and services are paid for through the normal banking system, you still pay the forex, but that would provide enough forex that is commensurate to the volume of businesses that we are doing in our country. But if people come, they do business, and they do not want to transact through the normal banking system, so what do you expect? With all fairness, I don't want to name names, but the business people, be it Sierra Leonean, Lebanese, Indians, they are the ones that owns this money that the black marketers are using. So they get it, and guess what? You can all agree with me that when we took over, less than a month or two, we caught somebody trying to cater away with over $1 million out of the country illegally. So once they take these things illegally out of the country, whether by road, that was by air, we caught Alunge. But what's about the so many porous borders we have in this country that people travel with these things? So we suffer as a country, we suffer as a nation, and I want to believe, like they have put it straight, the one about the pricing at international level, yes, we have no hands in that. We cannot control that. But do you want to tell me that we do not have control over, we controlling the black markets in our country, so that we have the forex with a stain in our country, Because the volume of forex, in business, the volume of business you do determines the volume of forex that you generate. So if the volume is up and the forex is low, then we come into issues like this. Where are our forex? Because what is really happening here is the foreign exchange, the devaluation of the Leone that is hitting us. I mean, that is the fact. But this is what we're going to do. And this is what we always do. As a responsible ministry in this equation, we've always been doing this. Immediately we anticipate that there is going to be anything that touch on the movement of people and goods in this country, we immediately call our stakeholders in the transport sector, be it air, land, and sea. And we have done that. And of recent, as Tuesday, this week, we called in anticipation of the numerous rumors that we're hearing, all of us, that this is the situation. If this situation comes up, I mean, what we're going to do? The oil marketers, they are telling us the plain truth. I like to always add my traditional explanation to things that I do. You know, in our native language, if you take a mud and add it on your nail so that it appears that you got a big nail, you just wait for the first rain to come. It will wash away all the muds, and you will know now that your kneecap is small. So that is the way I explained about subsidy. What you call subsidy in inverted commas for those that did economics. You subsidize yourself. It's like at home, you do not have food. So every day you go and get from your neighbor, but lend me 2 cup peso, 3 cup peso. You're going to pay that. So at the end of the month, you receive your salary, you go and pay all the loan, and you're left with nothing. So you continue just be indebted. How can you live your life always in indebtedness? I mean, that's not good for any nation. Then you will not say you are self-sufficient. So let's face the reality in this country. What is the price? As a price. Let's go in for the price and let us all fight. And that fight, believe you me, the front commandos of those fights have to be the fourth estate. We have to educate the people that this black marketing is killing. This foreign, this selling on the street is killing. Because when it bites all of us across the board. Now, an increase in petrol, increase in transportation. Increase in transportation, increase in the cost of food. Food. I don't want to cost, but clothing is my choice, whether I want to dress. I can put up a clothes for a whole month like a uniform, once it is clean. But food is food, my friend. We have to eat. So that is the direct effect that we face in this thing. So we, on our own part, as Minister of Transport and Aviation, we have set ourselves. We have engaged everybody that needs to be involved, both the owners of the transport, the operators of the transport. We are quietly, like my brother said, they have not made any change, but we are now on our mark. If there is going to be anything that resembles a change, I want to guarantee you people that you still continue seeing the buses, you still continue seeing, the taxis and the kekes, on the road, because we would swiftly move to ensure that whatever change comes, we've been matched that all our players. And let me just, for a word of information, we're not sitting waiting for all these sort of things, because immediately we start questioning time, people will start taking me to another angle. So before you take me there, let me take you there. The famous 50 bus business about the school buses. Hopefully, by next week latest, you will see those buses here in Freetown. So that one, be rest assured about that. We're doing tracking, and the ship is very close to our. You will see them. You will see them by next week. The ship is very close to our waters here. We are sure of that. So you either see it at the water key or you see it anywhere, but you see them next week. If everything goes well. The dock is very close. Then what we've done as a ministry, we've gone ahead through a World Bank project. And believe you me, most people do not get this information. We've got a $50 million grant. It's not a loan. It's a grant. It's free of cost. And what we're going to do with that money, we're putting it into decongestion of the city, Freetown. We're going to create free corridors. What we mean by free corridors, you all know that in the mornings when there's a school time for schooling, you have the kids and we, the elders and other people, struggling on the same traffic line to go to work, go to school. We're going to use some of that $50 million to procure 200 public buses. That's separate from the 200 public buses that we'll be talking about, which is going to go through government, like a PPP approach. This is separate. So if, God willing, we achieve that 200, that's going to go through government for a PPP, plus another 200 from a World Bank funding, which is cost-free, then we're hoping that at the close of this year to early next year, you'll be having 400 public buses available throughout this country. Would that not be a big change? And then we're not going to just make those buses available. We're going to create the corridors. So in the morning, for instance, they'll tell you, if you keep on this lane from Lumley to go right up to PZ, there's no stopping, no parking, except the gated point where you just drop off the stool kids so that they move fast. So these are the things that we're doing. We're not being complacent, and we're not hiding from the truth. Like my brother said, me, I don't believe in subsidy, because when you subsidize, the actual beneficiaries will not benefit. And this is simple economics and a simple, straightforward thing. I have been a council chairman for Pujon for 9 years. Just Pujon, between Pujon and Liberia, we have over 29 porous crossing. And the people at the border, they speak the same language. The people at the border, they got boats, not even motorized boats, native boats. And they speak the same language. So it's only left with them to really tell you whether they are Sierra Leoneans or Liberians. Because it's the same vibe. They speak on both sides. And when they travel, informally, nobody's going to check them. So everybody wants to generate money. So if you sell petrol on this side, 7,000, and you just move across a small river, the River Moa, which will not even take you 10 minutes, you are on the other side, and that petrol becomes 9,000 straight, 2,000, on each liter. Will you not go and buy over 10, 20 drums and just cross? So you make money. And who pays for that? It's me and you, because we're using our own money. And so that's the way. That is why it's nice to face the reality of things. So that when once, like a production possibility curve, for those that did that, it will go and reach its zenith. We now know that this is what we actually spend to upkeep ourselves, like a house or like a family. You calculate the actual money you need to sustain your family on a daily basis, and try to keep yourself on that realistic figure, other than you put your bar up, you start going for loans to friends to loan you. At the end of the day, you cannot even feed yourself because you keep on indebting yourself. So stay to the reality, and this is what we're encouraging everybody to understand. And let us preach this one as a nation and as a citizen to all of us in this nation. Thank you.
As Unadoyeri, waiting the Deputy Minister of Information and Communication say as he give update about waiting on pass during the week. Also, Unadoyeri waiting the General Manager for the National Petroleum, when Mr. Kobe Walker, as he talks, he say the fuel price still remain the same. If any change get for depend the fuel price, they get for make them again to the public. But for now, he say we still get fuel in the country, and the fuel price still remain the same. Me we bring the program to now, talk to the camera today. Me your name na Aisatu Spice to say. So to the next program, Asetata.